These are wireless stereo headphones. The box says A-123, your sports partners. And they come in red, gray, blue, or white. This is specifically the gray model. I was sent these to review for free. If you wanted to purchase them, they would cost you $28. They have not paid me for my review, and so my opinions remain my own. So in the box, you receive a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a small instruction booklet. This side over here is in English. And the headphones themselves folded in on themselves. So these headphones have a USB-C port here. They also have a micro SD, also known as a trans flash card slot there, so they can play music directly from a micro SD card without having to have a phone nearby them. And these go over your ears, and this loops behind your neck. It looks like I'm going to have to unroll it a little bit, like so, and wear it for a little bit because it's got rolled up in the box. They have a thin layer of foam here over your ears. This is a piece of hard plastic, but there's a silicone cover kind of over part of it, so I'll have to evaluate how comfortable that is going behind your ears. Bluetooth pairing my first phone was very easy. I just went into Bluetooth mode, searched for a new device, the A-123 was there, and it paired, and then the device said Bluetooth connected. And it gives me a battery display. It says 70% battery left on the phone here. All the controls are on this guy here, and essentially you push and hold the play and pause button to turn it on or to turn it off. And then it'll start up in a particular mode. If you have a micro SD card, like a trans flash card inserted right here, it will start off in music mode and play the music on your card. In this particular case, it would play MP3 files, but it would not play OGG Vorbis files. Now, if you want to switch modes, you double click and it'll go to Bluetooth mode, or it'll go to a FM radio mode. Now, the FM radio mode never really worked well for me. It could find stations and I could hear people talking and music playing, but it sounded better when I was holding it in my hand. As soon as I put it on my head, it got scratchy, and sometimes the stations would just cut out entirely. And I'm in kind of the middle of a big city, so there's lots of stations, plenty of power. This guy just didn't seem to have great reception. So I don't recommend it for FM radio listening. With Bluetooth, it's next song, previous song, play, pause, and then you have the plus and minus for the volumes. And that's basically the functionality of this guy. It's kind of your typical headset. How it feels, it's okay. And it's a little tight pushing against the back of my neck with this fold here, and I don't know if that's going to get better over time or not. It's very close to the maximum size for my head. It's almost too small for my head, and a lot of that's because this thing pushes forward against the back of your neck to hold them on. So if you had a smaller head than me, it'd be just fine. For me, I feel like it's pushing my ears down a little bit because of this bending, and that might ease up over time as this flexible tube kind of starts to fit the shape of my head and neck. But right now, it feels just a little bit tighter than I'd like. Material-wise, it's plastic. At this price point, it's kind of what you're going to get. It was not uncomfortable for 20-30 minutes of wearing. I'm going to charge it all the way up and then see how long it lasts, and I'll give you a better comfort feel after long-term listening to it for a while. So it charges via USB-C. Let's see if it does power delivery negotiation. And the answer is no, it will not charge off of a USB-C power delivery adapter. So it does include a USB-A to USB-C cable, which just provides 5 volts. And so you'll need to use a cable like the one that came with it to charge it up. And so when you plug it into charge, this light turns red. It's charging, it's drawing 0.24 amps, so it's basically charging at 1.2 watts. So basically any USB-A port you plug this into is going to be able to charge it up. Alright, these guys finally ran out of juice. I'm going to plug them in and see how much power it takes to charge them back up. Alright, they are charging at 0.3 amps, so it's basically 1.5 watt for charging power. This guy's fully recharged, and it took 1 watt hour, 285 milliamp hours at 5 volts. So that's approximately 385 milliamp hours at 3.7 volts for a lithium-ion battery. So it probably has a 350 milliamp hour battery inside. Alright, I've used these guys for probably about 7 to 8 hours total use time. So let's talk about the good. They're connected, so you cannot lose one half of them, so that's nice. The trans flash card or the micro SD card here, I kind of like that feature. I put some MP3 files on it, and it will just play music. So it doesn't need a phone connected, so you could take this without your phone and just listen to music. Now, if you do have it paired to a phone with Bluetooth, you can play music over the Bluetooth phone or make phone calls. I made a phone call with it. Audio was just fine. Audio on the music is also acceptable. It's not going to win awards for audiophiles, but it's perfectly fine for listening to music. Now, comfort-wise, it's okay. I've worn this continuously for up to 2 hours, and I do wear glasses, so I have my glasses interfering with this, but it's not super comfortable. I don't think I'd want to wear this all day. It has silicone, but it also has kind of hard plastic around it, and it's not bad, you know, so you can wear it for an hour or so and no real problems, but after a couple hours it starts to kind of pinch here and there. So comfort isn't perfect. It's not horrible, but it's not perfect. It has a reasonable battery life. I got about 6 to 7 hours of usage time playing pretty much continuous music before it got down to 30%. It does report back to your cell phone if you're connected with Bluetooth, your battery percentage, you know, it's 50, 70, whatever. When it got to 30%, I started hearing beeps, and the beeps are the low battery warning. And then a little while after that, it just shut down. So, you know, don't expect to get down to 20 or 10% on your display. You know, about 30% battery left is where it's going to start shutting down. But like I said, I got about 6 hours of continuous use out of a charge. When I recharged it, it looks like it has about a 350 milliamp hour battery inside. So it's, you know, it's a pretty reasonable battery. So if you're charging this every day, you're probably going to be just fine. You're not going to run out of power during a day unless you're wearing this a long time during the day. FM radio sort of works. I was able to listen to one FM radio station. It gets fuzzy as you move around. It changes in and out. The seeking to search for the next radio station is difficult. Once you get it on a station you want, I recommend you don't move it away from that station. So some bad things. When you turn the power off and you turn the power back on, it defaults to highest possible volume, which can hurt your ears if you're listening to something right then. And so you have to push the down button to lower the volume every time you turn this thing back on. That's a design decision I do not agree with. The build quality and material feel, this is just like rubber, plasticky rubber. It doesn't feel super fancy. FM radio never really worked super great for me. Bluetooth worked fine. Playing music off the MP3 files on the micro SD card worked fine. The music is kind of a random shuffle, and it basically will pick at random one of the files you have on the card. So if you have 100 files on the card, you're probably not going to get repeats randomly. I had it like 10 files on the card, and so I was getting sometimes the same song played twice in a row because it's the random algorithm isn't super great. It basically just picks a random song when your song is over and it goes to the next one. So if you have a lot of music on there, it's not going to be an issue, but keep in mind, you know, it's not doing a playlist or anything. It's just kind of randomly picking one of the songs off the card. So at this price point, it feels a little expensive. It's functional, it works, it does what it says it's going to do. I just feel like the price point is a little high for the build quality and the features that you're getting.